Hello everybody, hello, can anybody hear me? Mic test, is everything all good? 4 people, I see 4 people, welcome. Yeah, hello, welcome, is everything all good? Let me tell me if the stream is quality and everything's fine. And today we'll be going over the new, very strong, Marshal Retrofit that's been coming out on EN. I'll also be going over, the builds and everything. And of course, if you're watching this later, everything I talked about will be timestamped in the comments and in the description. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask me now. Or if you are watching this later, you can always join our Discord to ask me directly. So, alright, so, and hello everybody, hello. I'm live, right? I just want to make sure. I'm gonna watch my own stream just to make sure everything's fine, alright? So, give me 1 second. What's up, Sina? Welcome. Alright, so, yeah, give me 1 second. Let me... Like, the music is not too loud, right? The music? I hope. Alright, your stream is fine. Okay, awesome. I thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah, just want to make sure, right? Just want to make sure everything is, all good, so... 7-star already. I hope I will get 2 more. Yeah, definitely good luck. Yeah, Marshal is definitely one or Marshal Retrofit definitely got a huge, or it's what Marshal deserved, right? Is what Marshal definitely deserved. So let's alright, I'm gonna show myself real quick. And of course, while we're waiting for some people, I'll go over some news that's coming out on both Iron Saga EN and Iron Saga NC as well. So. And today I am feeling a little bit bad, so the stream might be a bit quick because I'm not in the best mental health, I think. But I will do my best, yeah. But just know that yeah, this stream might be a bit quick, which is also good so people can navigate it easier. So well, let's start with the news today. So for EN, obviously we have Winter Show that's coming out on EN very soon. Oh, 9 people, welcome. Yeah, of course, Winter Show, I'll be doing a guide on Winter Show as well, maybe next week or the week after, depending on when Winter Show came out. I personally don't have that much experience in Winter Show, but I can still do a guide, I believe, so. And then, a more important one, so if we go over to our Discord, right, if you go on our Discord, you will see that there is a new mecha coming out for Iron Saga NC, very interesting mecha, it's called White Knight. I think, yeah, White Knight, very interesting, yeah. It's Ryan apparently, Ryan Federation, interesting, very interesting. I haven't looked too much into it yet. I don't know the lore about this yet, but just know, they're coming. So just if you guys want to know more about latest news and everything, just join our Discord, and we have everything to talk about. So for example, this one, yeah, I definitely gonna be rolling it next week if it come on next week, and I'll be doing Winter Show guide as well as rolling this unit live for a live stream. So, and obviously this mega has been actually, yeah, this mega has actually been teased a long time ago with this interesting sketch, I should say. So yeah, we can see if it will actually turn out to be this way. It seems to be a range and a melee. So. Maybe we get a base form for now, and then it will turn into the thing later. But we'll see. This is a very early concept, so we don't know if this will be true when the mega does come out. And of course, just some more news, and of course the new NC engine beta that might be coming soon. Mahiru, very interesting. And yeah, very cute pilot. So, alright, so how many people do we have? If we have enough people, let's start with what's it called? Let's start with guide. So, well, oh, alright. So since we have enough with the people, let's start with the guide. Hold on, let me drink some water real quick. Alright, so let's start with Marshal. So Marshal. But yeah, Marshal, it got cooler, obviously. I mean, I'm pretty sure some people also prefer the older ways, but yeah, Marshal definitely got probably one of the biggest buff from Retrofit, I think, ever. like in terms of like how strong they got from pre-retrofit to retrofit. So very interesting. Welcome everybody. Welcome. Oh, and remember, if you're asking questions, I'll only answer them after I finish talking about certain thing. Like if you ask a question when I'm talking about the chassis, I will be answering the question after I finish talking about the chassis. All right. So, boss, welcome. Olin, welcome. Yeah, welcome, sir. Welcome, Alan. Yeah, welcome, Sinan. Welcome, Alan. Yeah, welcome everyone. Yeah, welcome. 欢迎。Yeah. So let's start from its chassis. It's basic info. I don't think anyone need to know the 300 HP increase. So, so chassis. Chassis. The new chassis is the closer to the target, the higher final damage. The higher final okay. Well, this translation is kind of weird. The higher final damage. Final defense stats. The farther to the target, the higher damage. Final damage dealt up to 32%. Now, this basically means the closer you are to the target, the less or the close. If the target is closer to the Marshal, then Marshal will just take less final damage value, which is pretty good. Especially in the meta where or especially in firm steel meta where taking less final damage value means you will just take less damage overall because it calculates after a firm steel, right? And of course, the farther the enemy, the farther the target is, Marshal will deal more final damage, or up to 32% to the target, which can be very powerful because anything to do with final damage value, or anything to do with final damage is strong in. Honestly, in both PvP and PvE. Well, I mean, in PvP less so. Actually, let me just double check if it's final damage value so I can be sure, right? So, yeah, so it's not final damage value. So this skill or the first chassis is basically purely for PvE purposes. But up to 32%. If you can position your Marshal very far away from the boss, then Marshal can be extremely powerful because just the flat 32% final damage increase. This is a must-have in PvPs or in PvEs. And of course, what's it called? I mean, see, the closer the higher final damage, it's a really weird translation, but it is whatever. And of course, this skill was this skill is shared between the pre-retrofit version and retrofit version, but the pre-retrofit version only goes up to 21%, which is obviously not as high as 32%. 30% is just absolutely insane of a final damage buff for Marshal. So alright, so actually, and speaking of, most final damage increase in this game are 30%, if not less, and Marshal having just a 32% final damage increase are just absolutely insanity in PvPs. And now for the more important one, the second chassis. So, the second chassis, attack dealt will knock down enemy by force, causing them to lose control and deal additional damage. This is pretty OP because its pre-retrofit is attack will inflict disarm upon enemy and deal collateral damage. Target become untargetable or become unable to attack and release active skill. Now, force knockdown by far is much stronger than disarm the enemy, because how do you say, being forced on, like, when you're knocked down, you literally cannot do anything. Therefore making the enemy knocked down by force, meaning it will ignore most immunities, is absolutely insane. This means, that means the big boss can be knocked down. Poster bosses, most PvE bosses that can be knocked down by this skill, except for a few exceptions. But just go to show how strong this is. Most of the time when you're fighting a boss, the reason why you're not doing enough damage is because the boss are moving. The boss are either using their force actions or are in iframes, making you unable to do damage. Now Marshal's attack basically can force the enemy to knock down. This ensures they are not in iframe. They are not unless they are using force actions. You will be the boss will be taking the full blunt of that damage, which can be very, very powerful. It's essentially, your Marshal is doing instant DPS as well as just CCing the boss, which combined with your other CC boss abilities from either Dream Guardian or from hammering or from just knocking down with enemy with long handle, it can basically just make the boss not able to move, and for your pretty much entire team to do massive damage on the boss. So absolutely insane. And this skill is also very strong in PvP, because same thing apart in PvP. This thing ignores a lot of knockdown immunities. So basically, if the enemy gets knocked out by Marshal, if it gets attacked by Marshal even, as long as it get hurt, your enemies are done, because the first hit that's gonna get knocked down, and then the rest of the DPS coming will just completely destroy the mecha. So if you ever see your Marshal just deleting a mecha in PvP, that's usually what happened. It gets knocked down, it couldn't move anymore, and it will just get blasted by whatever Marshal is shooting at it with. So, and even if Marshal isn't the one doing it, by having your enemies unit knocked down, your other units can use this check to either grab the enemy or just deal the DPS, and that'll be game over. So very, very strong. And when you're knocked down, the enemy mecha are not able to use actions. For example, the enemy Dream Guardian are not, if the enemy Dream Guardian is not dead yet after being attacked by Marshal, is not able to shoot its bullets, do all that to kill your team. So overall, this skill is definitely a huge improvement from its just disarming enemy, just make him unable to attack. This one just basically force enemy to unable to do anything basically, and this is especially good combining with its overall buff to its unique abilities and its and its weaponry. So one thing so let's get into its weaponry. Pretty much everything, I don't want to go into details on everything that's been buffed, but just pretty much everything has been buffed, and not just in damage, not just in damage. A lot of the things, he does, for example, a lot of the action that he does, or the weapon that he does, whenever they uses them, for example, that dash, pre-retrofit, it actually does not give the mines. But after Retrofit, it is now able to give the mines, which the mines can be very powerful in PvP, because now the mines are also included. For example, that one are already, obviously that nuke has been improved, and of course, the mines also do a huge damage, AOE damage to the enemies, which can be really strong in PvP if the enemy does get step on it. And of course, with that big of the radius of the attack, aside from just doing a lot of damage, it can obviously also inflict the chances knockdown, which can be very powerful in PvP. So Marshal can do DPS as well as just start doing a lot of CC abilities, which in today's meta, CC it's not everything, but CC is what enable you to do DPS most of the time, either by grab, force knockdown or something like that. So, yeah. So very, very powerful. Again, I don't want to go into all the details. Of course, just know everything. Pretty much attacks being buffed. Its weapon just generally have more things going for them, for it to be more either higher radius, more moves, throwing out more weapons, for it to do more damage, for it to hit more, just more coverage. And another thing that is more notable is that it's railgun. So back then, its railgun actually doesn't do. Its railgun, at the time, that railgun already does a lot of damage. However, this weapon. However, this thing does not have auto tracking. So most mecha, even mecha before it, right? For example, Breaking Dawn. Yeah, Breaking Dawn Retrofit already have like auto tracking. But I think they want to balance out Marshal to not be that strong. So pre-Retrofit Marshal actually does not have the auto tracking, making it do just a lot less DPS in general, because it's gonna be missing like half of the shot, right? So as you can see, its weapon definitely got buffed from this one. See, it's missing half of the shot. Like it sure can do a lot of damage, but it's missing half of the shot, so making it just unable to do as much as it could do. And you see, pretty much all grenades are also pretty much double in radius. So you can, as you can see, and that beam also shot a lot more and deal a lot more damage. Definitely one of the biggest change of all mecha recently that got a Retrofit, especially for his weapon. So yeah. Alright, so that should be it about the weapon. Oh no, nothing. So as you can see, the first it does have 5-star special melee fist. So for example, yeah, Iron Fist. Iron Fist is a 5-star. This means we can potentially use yeah. That means in the builds, which I will get into later, we can actually use Super Robot Fist, which is pretty strong in PvP. So yeah, yeah, which is very strong in PvE. So yeah, apologize. And of course, again, yeah, that is to say before, the unique abilities are usually just the improved version of the or a much improved version of of what it used to have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is actually a rare occasion where they don't get a new unique abilities, but with the amount of buff to each abilities and weapons, I think that's pretty fair to not give it another ability, because see, the reason why Marshal was usable sort of back then was because Marshal, everything it does is iframe. Everything Marshal does is iframe, so in PvP it can kind of survive a little bit, and maybe sometimes it'll get lucky to to do damage, but obviously after a while that doesn't really matter anymore when every other mecha also have iframe as well. So but now Marshal got everything is iframe. You can control the enemy, do huge amount of damage in both PvP and PvE, just absolutely insanity. So. Alright, so I think that should be it about Marshal Explain. I'm feeling like I'm missing something, but just know if I miss anything, I'll be commenting down in the description and in the comments down below. Alright, so now let's get into the builds. Actually, before we get into the builds, let's talk. I'm gonna answer some questions. So, can I build FL-22 with explosion damage? Which one is that? I wouldn't recommend it. Yeah, I definitely wouldn't recommend it because most of your damage is coming from the XO, right? Yeah, most of your damage is coming from the huge railguns. So yeah, I already made a video about how strong that railgun is. I mean, its railgun is already strong back then. It was already strong, but now it just makes it able to hit. Not just the auto tracking. You see, the auto tracking is strong, right? The auto tracking is strong that it can now hit enemy, but it's auto tracking combined with the chassis, right? Auto tracking now can track the enemy, so it cannot hit the enemies, and when it hit the enemy will be knocked down. So the enemy cannot go into its iframe, cannot go into its weapons. See, that is the thing that traps the enemy to take the full blow of that DPS, which is what makes it really, really strong in both PvP and PvE. So, yeah. Trying to get Marshal with the 10 free rules. I got a few copies a while back. Oh yeah, definitely. Like if you already have it for free copy, I definitely would recommend maxing it out. So it's a really worthy mecha to get. It will only be outdated sort of in when Bahamut comes, which it already lasted for a long time as like the top PvP PvE DPS. Which again, you don't need Bahamut to do, or you don't need Bahamut, like you don't need the best PvE DPS in general, right? So. Morning, yeah, good morning. Alright, so now let's get into the builds. So this is the general PvE build. Yeah, general PvE build. So this is what I have. Of course, Ian does not have Sharded Awaken yet, obviously. But once Ian does get Sharded Awaken, obviously this build will be she will be the best pilot on Marshal Awaken. But because she's not here yet, I won't go into details on her awakens with Marshal Awaken. But I will do a guide on Sharded Awaken when she comes out. So just stay tuned on that. But for now, let's go into a pilot that Ian does have. So let's get into a pilot Ian does have that's also good, which is Elaine Awaken. Yeah, Elaine Awaken should be one of the best pilots for Marshal right now. So, and of course, Elaine Awaken, you definitely will want to use Greta Attack Code for for the extra final damage increase. And so now let's get into the build one by one. Core, obviously, Majin Core. You really isn't really others thing you want to use in PvE because just a sheer amount of final damage increase for Marshal. Just look at how much thing how much things Marshal have. Jesus Christ, all these final damage is gonna add up and become very, very powerful. So yeah, very, very, very. Well, it's not that much because it's 9 times 2, but still, it is also still very, very strong. So, and of course, it does get the final defense increase, which can be very, very powerful, which can help it survive in PvE as well. So, and of course, with the core. Now, core is very interesting because core you definitely want to go because for some reason Marshal have a fist. Marshal have a 5-star fist. Therefore, you can actually use Super Robot Fist on it, which Super Robot Fists are one of the best PvE DPS shell in the game. I mean, usually is used on the melee, but for some reason Marshal has it, and there's nothing stopping. There's nothing stopping Marshal from taking advantage of Marching Core. So here you go. Yeah. But the thing is, right? If you don't have this core, don't worry. You can still use a good old, Hyper Beam. Hyper Beam with a 21, well, with a 20%, with a almost 20% final damage increase are still very, very good. I wouldn't recommend using anything else. So definitely Hyper Beam or Super Robot Fist. Super Robot Fist, I think, is still better in a way. Like it's better most of the time because it gets almost 50% attack increase when you're using his ult, and it gets double that when it when it uses its XO, which is again very powerful. Its railgun is very, very powerful. So yeah, definitely want to use Super Robot Fist if you have them. If not, use Hyper Beam for the final damage increase. There's another core that came out on NC that can potentially be used. That is the Destruction Ammo. Now, Destruction Ammo is more CC orientated, so you don't want to use it on Marshal because Marshal's job is to DPS. So it is something you can use if you're using Marshal as a CC purely, which it will not happen for a long time. And even if it does, where your Marshal is gonna be used to as a CC unit, you probably have a better CC unit by that point. So yeah, but the thing is, this weapon is definitely seem to be made for Marshal Retrofit, but just know it's not Marshal do too much DPS to be useful with this shell. So Fist Core and Hyper Sword, and Fist Core being the better one. And now for the support. To be honest, a lot of people might use this one because it increases its magazine, its attack, and stuff. But if you look closely, it only increased the attack by 10%, and even though it does increase its magazine by 32%, is this worth it versus the 40% attack increase from I'm gonna check the English name for that part. So is it really better from for that 30% 30% increase compared to the thing compared to this one, compared to reverse cooling device that increased rain damage by 40%? I don't think so. This is the reason why I will use this one, because the 40% attack is just too strong, and also Marshal does not rely on reload speed and Marshal does not rely on reload speed and some of his weapon. It relies on its action. So what's the point of getting more weapon magazine, right? What's the point of getting more magazine and getting more reload speed, right? And another thing, also scale with attack interval. So yeah, it's scale with some attack scale with attack interval. So basically means the weapon magazine doesn't really matter as much. Of course, you can still use it, obviously, but let's go. Reverse cooling score, I think is the way to go. 40% attack increase, that's no joke in PvE, which might be another reason why Marshal is so strong. Because if you take a look at the counterpart of that, the melee version of it. So let's see, where's the melee version of it? Melee version, it only increased by 20-25% at most, right? So, but having it just a pure 40% damage increase, that's absolute insanity. So, night guy, Alright, so and now for the armor, obviously armor you want to go for Firm Seal. It's a range unit, so you're not gonna get melee attack anyway, unless you're building your team wrong, but by the boss, so Firm Seal all the way, and nothing really else to say. I mean, obviously, if you're using Elaine, you can probably use something like, you wouldn't usually use Fork, because Fork, if the enemy are forking you already, you're probably already dead. So you probably want to go for something like, the Stealth Core if you already have Firm Seal somewhere. Something that reduces, your targetability, which might be better because, if you're using Elaine, that have Baihu codes. Alright, so now on the coding. Now coding have a lot of different things that can do. So now coding is obviously Baihu code if you're using things like Elaine, where Elaine's Awaken skill does want you to activate as soon as possible. Same with Charlotte. Charlotte also kind of want that as well because Charlotte does give a good bonus if you use their active skill sooner. However, if you are speedrunning, where you don't even have time to activate active skill, maybe you can try gold. Yeah, maybe you can try gold coat because gold coat does give you some extra damage, so you can use it to just like if you're gonna kill the boss in like 5 seconds, which is possible with Marshal, you can probably go for the golden coat. But usually you want to go for Baihu coat in PvE again. It's hard to stress enough. This build is purely for PvE purposes. So I'll get into it. Yeah, I'll get into the questions. Yeah, I'll get into the questions. So, and then now for the pets. Obviously pets, you want to go for Q24, because, again, some of its weapon, some of its action, the amount of things he shoot, scale with this pet. So, this pet is kind of necessary for Marshal, I should say. If you somehow don't have it, you know what, just, I think you redeem this one, just get this pet for Marshal. If you're gonna get it, it would make your Marshal do a huge ton more damage. But if you don't have it for some reason, maybe you can go for Pisces, maybe. If not Pisces, you can go for maybe, I don't know, Flaming Rabbit, the Panda. You can go for, I don't know, just some general PvE pets that dies damage. But there's no reason why you shouldn't use Q24. Actually, just scratch everything above. Just use Q24. You want this for Marshal. So I wouldn't recommend anything else. Yeah, I wouldn't recommend. I mean, PvP. There's different pet obviously, but for PvE, this pet is what you want to need. And now for the co-pilot skill, co-pilot skill definitely depend on your pilots, right? If you're using Elaine, obviously you want to use Greta's Focus Fire, because its Focus Fire adds a ton more fan damage value to it. If you don't have Greta, obviously you can go for Perfectionism from from her, or some other pilot with Perfectionism like Judith. Yeah, Judith also have Perfectionism. If you don't have those pilots, obviously you can go back to the good old Enjoyer from Vesely if you really want it. But usually if you have final damage, you want to go for final damage now, because Vesely is kind of a bit outdated now for PvP purposes. So just final damage. Again for PvE, this is for PvE, right? And then let's say in the future, right? In the future when Charlotte does drop. Now when Charlotte drop, you can obviously go for things like I personally will go for Enjoyer, because you just do more damage. But if you don't have Enjoyer, you can obviously go for something like, I don't know, like something like just him from the old collab. If you do have them, just for the more level in the pet than the parts, you can even go for something like just a support skill, like some offensive support skill, like the Lolo support skill. Where is it? Where's Lolo? Lolo support skill. So I think I saw someone ask for alternative, which I'll get into that. I'll get into that real quick. But let me find out. Lolo, here it was also someone else. But personally, I will go for Enjoyer if you're using Charlotte, because Enjoyer is there forever, right? So you'll be doing a lot more damage compared to Lolo, where it's only beginning the battle, basically. So that I'll get into if it's worth it or not. Do you want obvious question? Yeah, so pilot alternative obviously DE works. Yes, DE works, but it's just not the best option, right? DE works for sure, but what's it called? If you want to optimize, like if you want to optimize, right? Preferably to awaken. If you have awakened Divine Empress, right? If you have awakened Divine Empress, that means you should have the ability to awaken Elaine as well. So you probably want to awaken Elaine. Yeah, you probably want to awaken Elaine to put on Marshal and have your Divine Empress on something else, either Dream Guardian, Zhonghu, or even your range, or even your melee, even your melee CC. So, but you definitely can. If you somehow don't have pilot options for Marshal, Dream Guardian, Divine Empress definitely can be a thing, because it can be charging its railgun. It can be charging its railgun move a ton, so it can start spamming it. Actually, spins it very, very fast. So you know what? You probably can use it. Yeah, you probably can use that Divine Empress for what's called for Marshal in PvE. So yeah, definitely. And if you are really desperate, you can probably even go for Becca's. Like, obviously everyone has Becca's, right? You can probably go for Becca's. There's nothing really stopping you from using Becca's on it. Okay, I'll get into it. If it's worth it soon. Yeah, I'll get into that. Yeah. And then, okay, so now for non-pilot awaken options, there isn't that much unlock, because usually you want to go for the pilot awaken one, because they're just so strong. Vesely could potentially be one that I can use, but it's pretty outdated now. You can probably go for Lyoma, but not everyone have Lyoma from the getter, so that's also not really a good option. Maybe her, you want, so basically any pilot that can use that have final damage increase and something like that. You can probably use it on Marshal, but again, best option will always be either Elaine, Charlotte, Divine Empress even, but yeah. But just don't use something like Linda on it, right? Because obviously we are used to melee doing the most DPS, so some people might not be used to finding range DPS pilot for Mecha, but just know take a look. Yeah, if a pilot doesn't have, or if a pilot have a melee focus skill, then you probably don't want to put it on Marshal. Just look out on that, and it should be fine. But for now, I'm gonna put back Charlotte on. Actually, I'm gonna put in Elaine on, because Elaine is the one that Ian uses the most right now. So yeah, I'm gonna put Elaine on and then put this one on. So yeah, this is so this is the PvE build for what's called for Marshal. And let's go into PvP. Alright, so yeah, I'll talk about if it's worth it after I talk about PvP build. So just hang in there, and I'll break it down if it's if it's worth it or not, and depending on the situation, and I'll break that down. So just stay tuned. Yeah. Yeah, just hold on a second. And let me build a then PvP. Yeah, Marshal can definitely work for both PvE and PvE. So now for PvE, now for PvP builds. PvP builds, it's a bit tricky, I think. I don't know what people use for PvE builds. So let's use let me see. Let's use what will work. Let's use Elaine again. Yeah, Elaine should be. Honestly, I think Elaine also works for PvE. For PvP as well. So let's see. So let's use Elaine for now as a template. Now, which one is better would depend. Would depend on what's called Actually, you know what? Yeah, just put Elaine for now. Now for the core, there's not much different, because the core, for PvE, the core is, you use this core for the fighting damage. Now for PvP though, you want to use this core for the refresh rate. because you get a 50% refresh on your on your action. That means you can start using your railgun instantly. Because given if that railgun hits, there are a highly chance that your enemy will proc their emergency detach or just proc the revive. So you definitely want to use Marching Core. But if you know the enemy have very strong anti-burst options, you can probably go for something like hydraulics to just get your railgun to just blast your railgun over and over. But so just kind of like so just kind of like Marching Core or hydraulic. But hydraulic is only when the opponents you're fighting against have very strong anti burst basically. And also the important that the entire PvP builds right away so people doesn't get mislead. Okay, so obviously you want to put these on. Now. The pet will be a bit different, which I'll get into it. And obviously you'll want to go for rewind for Marshal. So okay, so rewind for Marshal. So as I talked before, core, you want to use Marching Core for the burst, which is most of the time, or if you know the enemy have a very strong anti-burst, you want to go for hydraulics for for the railgun spam, right? So now let's talk about let's get into its what's called weapon. Now its weapon, obviously there isn't really much debate. Just use Ether Shell, because Ether Shell right now you can potentially use the Ether Shell to anti-shields, because now a lot of people are using shields, so you can use this one to anti-shield. And obviously you can use this to anti what's called firm seal as well, because this thing does ignore a lot of defense defense abilities. So I definitely use Ether Shell. There isn't really other shell that better than Ether Shell in a PvP setting. Maybe you can use maybe you can use destruction ammo for this for CC effect, but that's very rarely I can see this being working. It does reduce enemies' action, but at that point you might as well kill the enemy with Ether Shell, right? So why use Destruction Shell? So Ether Shell all the way, I think is the way to go, unless there's something stronger come out, right? So now for the support, obviously there's no debate. You will want to use emergency detach, because just in case if your Marshal get targeted by the enemy's range or got hit by something, got hit by AoE, so you definitely want to use emergency detach. So then what definitely, Eating Weapon is definitely very strong, yeah. And now let's get into his armor. Armor, obviously, firm seal, you want to go for firm seal all the way. But if you're using things like Elaine, right? Elaine already have a firm seal, then you can go for something like this armor to reduce your chances on being targeted by the enemy. So yeah, you can definitely use this one if you already have a firm seal somewhere, either on a pilot or on co-pilot and stuff like that. But co-pilot you want to use a revive usually, because just in case if you die, right? So, and then for the coatings, there isn't much debate either. You want to use you want to use the aggro coatings. You don't want to get targeted by the enemy, so you want to use this all the way. So yeah. And then now for the pets. Now pets are very interesting, because pets, obviously Q24 are also very strong in PvP, because the more bullet you shoot, the more easier you can one shot the enemy, and overall the more damage you dealt. But if you really want to, you can technically go for something like Pisces, because Marshal does a huge ton of damage, right? And Marshal does not need Marshal doesn't need Scorpion to do the CC for him. Marshal already have it. Marshal already has the CCs to dish out damage. So Marshal doesn't really need Scorpion. I mean, you can put on Scorpion if you want, but Marshal doesn't need it. So instead, you can actually put on things like Pisces, so you will do a lot of damage. So when your Marshal does get targeted by the enemy's melee, you can survive because you have built up so much damage from the extra health bar from the Pisces. So it's something you can consider just throwing out there. But usually, I will probably still go for Q24 just because of damage potential and the potential to just one-shotting enemies. So, and yeah, I don't know, just I think Q24 is the way to go still, but you can probably go for Pisces just for the extra survivability. So very interesting. Struggling how I feel. Okay, I'll get into that. Yeah. If you have any questions, just ask me. Yeah. If you have any questions, and you can ask me on Discord if you ever run into any problems too. And now for the co-pilot skill, again, co-pilot skill would highly depending on the on the pilot that you're using. But if you pilot have a defense, you will want to go for defense because you never know what is gonna one shot your Marshal, right? So you probably want to go for like a revive, unless your pilot already have a revive. If your pilot already have a revive, then maybe you can put on something more supportive or something even more offensive. But just know that there are things that works in PvP or in PvE that doesn't work on PvP. So, for example, you don't want to go for final damage because final damage doesn't matter in final damage doesn't matter in PvP. Only final damage dealt, or final damage value matters in PvP. So, for example, if you're using PvP for offensive purposes, then you can probably use something like, I don't know, what would be a good one? What would be a good one for PvP for attack? Not that much, actually. Yeah, not that much. I feel. Maybe something like, well, it's not even attack anymore. Like, you probably go for just low support. Support skill, which does add some attack. But just an example, like the difference between pilot choice. Like you can go for a support skill if your pilot already have revive. You can even put on just a heal, because your Marshal will be sitting in the back. Your Marshal should be pretty safe if you build your team right. So a support skill should be pretty good on it. If your pilot already have revive skill. So and yeah, that's actually pretty much it about the about the pilots. Again, the pilot choice I think is quite easy. Obviously, when Charlotte come out, you want to use Charlotte on PvP, on PvP as well. However, if you don't have either of these, I mean, Divine Empress can work because Divine Empress doesn't really have something like that hardcore gives you like a that hardcore how to deal with something with melee, and you can be doing a lot of damage by spamming the railguns. But in this meta, Divine Empress might be better on the melee because you can spam more, melee to keep your melee alive, which can in turn help Marshal, whoever's on your Marshal, survive because your enemy will be dealing with the melee that is being piloted by Divine Empress. So. But yeah, if you do want to use Divine Empress, then you probably go for something like, I don't know, something more defensive. I don't know. Yeah, what would be one? Actually, this is a little bit. Yeah, this is a bit limited for. I mean, if you can find out one, that'll be good. But I'm pretty sure that there is one. But yeah, they can definitely figure that out. On your own time and see which one to perform the best. Again, just to know, final damage doesn't matter in PvP. Only final damage value matters in PvP. And anything else? Any other pilots? Yeah, Elaine, Slowkai, maybe even Mecha. You can even go for that. Different Empress. Charlotte, obviously, when she come out. And without Awaken, you can probably go for maybe Ashuma. Honestly, yeah, because Ashuma have you can keep Ashuma in the back. That's support maybe. So maybe test him out, right? Test him out. But again, I think Elaine might be better, or Divine Empress might be better in ES meta. We will see though. Definitely test him out. Yeah. So, right, so I think that should be it about PvP builds. So I'm gonna put on Charlotte because this is what I know. I don't miss the EN play. So again, if you're watching this in the future, Charlotte, Marshal Awaken, Charlotte Awaken with Marshal Retrofit are definitely the way to go in PvP too. So this is general PvP. Again, I think this is enough. It is general PvP build. It's not gonna work every time. You need to build accordingly, right? But this shouldn't go wrong in most cases, or at least in this meta, I feel like. Alright, so now let's get into is it worth it? Because you know I already have you know I see a thing for that. So is it worth it? Definitely worth it if you already have a few copies. Yeah, if you already have a few copies, then it is definitely worth it because it's just like it's just a really good it is just a really strong unit at the moment for both PvP and PvE. If you didn't roll a Dream Guardian, this can dish out as much damage and as much control as a Dream Guardian, if not better sometimes. Because Dream Guardian had the thing about Dream Guardian is that Dream Guardian had the best pilot with her right now. You know, she had Trista Awaken with her right now. Yeah, with Dream Guardian, which you know already give her really strong boots. And she is, you know, see, even though Marshal Awaken does give the auto tracking, but there are still chances that it will miss, you know, from a fast moving enemy if it doesn't get hit the initial hits. Now, with Dream Guardian, right? Dream Guardians, I mean, for those who already seen how Dream Guardian works, it's pretty hard to miss with Dream Guardian. Yeah, it's pretty hard to miss. So the enemy are almost guaranteed to get hit by those things and get the Scorpion proc. So you're not gonna be worrying about it missing. Now with Marshal, that isn't so certain. Sure, Marshal can hit an enemy much easier now, but it's not guaranteed. So just, you know, just a difference here, right? But the thing is, if your Marshal can get hit, it can potentially deal more damage to the enemy. So Marshal, yeah, if you so now here's depending on your situation. I think, what's it called? Because Abel will be here for, you know, actually 10 days. Yeah, Abel will be here for 10 days, right? That means you can at least get, or you know, at least 10 days. Because I don't know if you'll come, you know, for even longer. I think it might actually be. But we'll see. But see, Abel will be here for at least 10 days. So you can guarantee get one copy of Abel if you already, you can at least guarantee get one copy. Now, one copy of Marshal is definitely less good than one copy of Abel, because you know, Abel, you can, if you get a 5-star, you can still kind of use it in PvE, or in, you know, like, if you're a new player, right? If you're a new player, Abel 5-star would definitely be better than Marshal 5-star. Most other units are also just not that good at 5-star right now. So if you have 0 copy, yeah, if you have either 0 copy or only have 1 copy of Marshal, yeah, so if you only have 1 to 0 copy of Marshal, I will invest in Abel. Because Abel is a recent mecha, it can last for a long time. Maybe you will get a Retrofit in the future where you can finish Abel up by having, you know, and have the copy now, it will be easier. If you only have 1 or 2 copy of Marshal, getting it to 6-star or 7-star really doesn't help. However, if you already have it at 7-star, maybe you can try to get it to 9-star, so you can get a Retrofit and you can get a huge improvement from the strong, you know, a great PvP and PvE DPS. The king of, yeah, literally the king of PvE, and just a huge strong DPS for PvP, so, yeah, but if you, again, yeah, so basically, if you have a 7-star or above, get Marshal. If you only have 0 to 5, yeah, from 0 to 5-star, definitely get Abel instead, yeah, so just depending on your situation. Doesn't matter if you're a new player or an old player, don't forget that. However, if you already have Abel at 8-star, so again, Able needs 8-star. So I think someone said 7-star before, right? You have 7-star Able. Yeah, if you have 7-star Able, get it to 8. Yeah, get it to 8 if you only have 7-star. Able needs 7-star. Able needs 8-star because everything Able gives that is an HP is a huge value. Because Able gives a revive on his chassis, on second chassis. It gives the team shield on its on its weapon, and it also gives its abilities, which is kind of needed for doing damage and just surviving, right? So Able needs 8-star. So only not. Okay, so okay. I guess it becomes clear. So if you have Able at 7-star, and if you have Marshal at like I don't know at like 6-star or something, get Able first. Yeah, get Able to 8-star first. However, if you have Marshal at like 7-star and you only have like one copy of Able, then I think you should try to get Marshal first instead of Able, because Marshal Retrofit is much useful than Able in both, because Marshal Retrofit are strong in both PvP and PvE. But if you're not confident on finishing up Able with, if you're not confident in finishing up Marshal to 9-star, then you want to go for Able instead, because Able are much like recent, right? And much recent, you have more chances to roll him. It's just and maybe you'll get a trophy in the future that can make it very strong. So just it's really hard to judge the situation, but just know if you have 7-star Able, get Able, finish your Able. If you have 8 to 9, or if you have 7 to 8-star Marshal, get Marshal. That'll be the way that will go. Any other things here right now are not that useful now anymore, so just you don't need to care about them. So it's honestly between Marshal and Able. And if you have both of them, right? If you have both of them, then what's it called? These 3 mecha, I think Sfion will be worth it. Yormar is quite outdated now. I mean, Yormar can still be used with Divine Empress Awakened, but it's still a bit outdated now, and soon it'll be squeezed out of meta, even for those people who's using it. So I guess Fion will be one that you want to use if you already have Marshal at Retrofit, and if you have Able at 9-star, at 8-star. So yeah. And honestly, if you have Able at 8-star and if you already have Marshal Retrofit, you might as well get Able to 9-star for the extra HP instead of getting the other units instead. So yeah, just yeah. So to answer the question, is it worth it? Definitely worth it. But it's worth it in its Retrofit. So if you're not confident on getting its Retrofit by the end of the banner, don't get it. Yeah, don't get it. Get Able instead. That should be the idea. Got 7-star Kane. Hoping for more. Kane is fine. Kane. Yeah, see, Kane is good at 7-star. Kane is good at 7-star. You don't really need its weapon that much. It would be good to have. Obviously, it would be good to have a Kane at Kane with a weapon, obviously. But just so it's not something that's necessary. However, yeah, if you want to go for more, you probably can. Yeah. And I got something from me out. I will stick with Able for now. Only Marshal. Yeah, definitely get for Able. Yeah, Able. If you can get Able to 8-star though, if you can get Able to 8-star, maybe you can try your luck at Marshal and see if you can get more Marshal. Because maybe Marshal banner will rerun when you have more money or when you save for more. And you can finish up that Marshal Trophy, which should still be relevant. Even like after the rerun banner, because it just do so much damage in both PvP and PvE. So. Now, I'd rather say though, Marshal Retrofit does get outdated in PvP when Messiah comes. Now, the reason is not that Messiah outdamaged Marshal, far from it, is that Messiah is cheating, sort of, because Messiah just doesn't get hit. Messiah kind of just imagine, you can imagine a mecha that stays perpetually in stealth, almost. So, that's kind of cheating. So, that's kind of cheating. At that point, as long as you do some DPS, which Messiah can do, So yeah, it's kind of cheating. So I wouldn't really compare Messiah with Marshal, because yeah. Because Messiah also outdated Dream Guardian too. Messiah outdated Dream Guardian. Messiah outdated a mecha that came after it. Yeah, Messiah literally outdated a mecha that came after it. They outdated freaking like Horus. I would say is even better than, I don't know, Bahamut in range PvP. It's more safer because it just can stay perpetually at stealth. And yeah, built-in rewind. Yeah, built-in revives, man. So yeah, just it's cheating. Yeah, Messiah is cheating, so you don't need to compare it with Messiah. So alright, so let me answer some questions. Messiah super range. Yeah, how many pity to guarantee SSL in limited mecha? 100. So 10 rolls per day, right? 10 more days, you can guarantee get 1 copy, because you get 10 days, 10 free rolls, or 10 free rolls. So yeah, you can get 100 points. Yeah, as other already pointed out, should it be fine if I skip Kane and go for Winter Shield for long-term use? How many Kane do you have? If you already have 6-star Kane, depending on how many, yeah, I'll say okay. So if you can get your Kane to 7-star, I will get that to 7-star. Unless you have enough, or unless you can guarantee you can get at least like 7-star maybe for Winter Shield, I would get Kang to like a usable start, which 7-star is instead first, right? Like definitely get more mecha to a usable star first before you go into another mecha. Winter Shield can last. Winter Shield does last longer than Kang. I mean, it came out later, but it does. Wait. We don't know yet because it's Ian. Ian doesn't have the pilot that NC had at the time. So, but I think the general rule of thumb is that, I mean, actually, you said you will skip Kane, right? So I will assume you don't have Kane yet. Yeah, if you don't have Kane yet, you can probably say for Winter Shield for PvP, that should definitely work. Yeah, that should definitely work. But I will give you some insight, because future mechas such as Dante, right? Dante is good in both PvP and PvE. So, if you can save for Winter Shield, maybe you should save for Dante, because Dante is good for both PvP and PvE. Even now, there's still some Dante uses. I mean, if you want to use Dante, you can still use. While Winter Shield, that's a bit iffy now. Yeah, that's a bit iffy now. Yeah, Messiah lasts till now, honestly. Messiah, you can pump Messiah in right now. In today's meta, in today's PvP meta, it should still go fine. Yeah. Alright, so more crane game. Crane motor pilot, they're not really good. Yeah, the crane games. I mean, crane game is good. Yeah, crane game is good, but it does give us some outer reward. However, the crane game are absolutely amazing for new players. So if you're a new player, definitely do that. Yeah, if you're a new player, you gotta play the crane game, because you really just get a lot of free. So here, oh wait, is it still here? Crane game? No, it's not. Okay, but when it does come, right? When it does come, crane games, you definitely want to get crane games, because crane games give new player a lot of things. So that's kind of advice I was looking for new player. Oh, you're looking for device. I see. Okay. Oh, I thought you were asking for device. My bad. So yeah. I need 1 more copy to get 9-star Able, and the rest I will use for Marshal banner. Okay. How many Marshal do you have already? If you have Marshal at 7 or 8, I would say, yeah, I said maybe you can go for Marshal banner right now, see if you can finish it. But if you have 0 copy of Marshal, then yeah, 9-star Able might be better. I've been relying on 10 daily summon. I don't know, or IDK what I'm going to do when it's gone. Don't worry. Okay, so I assume you're a new player, right? If you're a new player, don't worry. Again, we don't need. Actually, if you're a new player, right? You don't need. You don't need banner unit to survive. Yeah, you far from it. After the 10 ticket rolls, right? You probably already have some banner units at either 5-star or 7-star. That should be enough to carry you through stories. Like legit, the mechas now are so strong that 1 or 2 can carry you through stories, and pretty much help you on most events. So that should be fine. Yeah, you can finish on most stories. You can finish on most collabs, most event that comes by. That should be all good. Now, PvP, just take it slowly. Yeah, take it slowly. Yeah, slowly. Yeah, just take it slowly. Save up. And then look ahead of time and see what is strong and save up for that mecha. Like for example, Dante, right? Like for example, let's say if you started like 5 months ago. 5 months ago, you finished all the stories because you roll some mecha in 5-star that it carries you through the stories. You finished all you can in PvE. Then obviously not top PvE will be against very strong bosses. But if you finish all the stories, if you finish all the side quests, finish getting all the rewards. You can start focusing on just start getting save up on more resources to get because you do get good amount of tickets and you do get good amount of things if you even participate in a little bit of PvP, and you can save those things up so you can look ahead of times to see which mecha is strong. Save for those mecha. For example, Dante or Messiah. Save for those mecha. Eventually you can literally go to Ace in EN as a free to play. Yeah, and get number 1. So just Ian is very forgiving. So yeah, definitely. It really comes down to your resource management. Yeah, just don't worry. Yeah, don't worry about it. Rolling is not that important in this game, especially for most of the gameplay. PvP is not even a huge part of this. I mean, it is, but it's not all of it, right? So. But back to ASR requiring okay, see the thing is, right, recently, yes, in EN recently, most mecha needs 8-star, I mean, Kane needs 7-star, Dream Guardian 7-star should be fine enough. Actually, I don't know, yeah, KG is also 7-star, however, most mecha coming in the future, I don't know about Winter Shield, but Messiah, Dante, Lilith, like Chorus, Diao-chan, Virgil, and Chi-Tian. All of them should be usable as 7-star. Only Bahamut really needs 8-star, so don't worry. Dream Guardian not able. Yeah, I mean Able is definitely 8-star. Dream Guardian doesn't need 8-star, it's just better at it's just better at PvE at 8-star. Yeah. Both guards give you free copies, yeah. Alright, I might cheaper getting 7-star to 8-star than rolling Winter Shield from 0. I have enough for Dante, but still can choose for Messiah or Lilith. Lilith might be better because the thing is, again, we don't have the palette that makes Lilith strong, so we don't know how Lilith is gonna perform. But Lilith has some insane amount of CC abilities, which kind of make it must have in PvP. So we'll see though. We'll see though. Yeah. I haven't been touching storage, to be honest. I've been farming ruin event. That's fine. Yeah, as long as you're farming, PvE, that's fine. Yeah, definitely go for event first. Yeah, only touch stories when you finish your events. Yeah. After you get all the rewards from the events, then go for the regular stories. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So you're doing right. Yeah. So you're doing right. Still on path of revenge. I see. Alright, so any more questions? Again, if I miss your questions, just ask again, because I might have missed a lot of questions while I was explaining, how things goes, right? So, let me rest my thing at the builds for for Marshal PE real quick while I just check. Well, Bar Brothers come back eventually. I think eventually. Wouldn't recommend to roll Bar Brothers now, but if you really want that mecha, you can. Yeah. All right, let me check some. What's it called? Getting read back some of the chat to make sure everything is it is executing attacks. It works on War Head. I don't know which one is that, but I don't think they are stronger than Q24, because Q24 it kind of works similar to Hurry's Barber. So yeah, definitely 224 I think is always better. Maybe play a few months if you're struggling. Being able to play if you're yeah, don't worry about it because you know you'll eventually get it. Getting pilot in this game are pretty easy, so don't worry about it yet. Alright, so anything else I have to answer? I mean, I can start with 7 star right now, right? I don't. I just wanna know whether I should dump Retrofit or Marshal. Get able to 8 star. You want able to be 8 star to be to work. So for fun, would you want to see funny moment? Yeah, would definitely be pretty funny. Alright, so any more questions? Only about 2 days. I would recommend getting Pirate Killers. Yeah. I'll probably be doing that soon as well. Alright, things, anything questions? I think I answered most of them. Again, if I miss any question, just ask again, or join our Discord, and just ask me directly, alright? Yeah. And what's going on? Please consider, you know, sharing this stream and liking and subscribing. It will really help out a lot. Alright, anything else? I got 7 star. Oh, really? Yeah, okay, definitely get your able to 8 star first, and then get your king to 7 star if you can. That should work. Alright, so I think that should be it about Marshal. You know, we'll talk about PvP and PvE. What's it called? Yeah, talk about PvP, and I guess let's I don't know what to do actually. Is there anything else? Is there anything that you guys want to see, or any question that you guys want to ask? If not, I will be calling a day. Keeping this stream shorter so we can, you know, so people can navigate this stream easier. So yeah. Anything guys? Anything else, guys? Anything else? And you know, for those who just joined, just know that, you know, new Mecha coming soon for NC. Yeah, very interesting. I'll be making a post about this thing soon. So yeah, just stay tuned. And you know, if you guys want to know the latest leak and everything, just join our Discord. And you guys can see the leaks and everything. So yeah. Yeah, here's the Discord if you guys want to join. How to log into Iron Saga Japan? It should be the same with EN, right? Should be the same. Just make an account and you should be able to do it. And just corresponding with, you know, what EN have to what NC had, and should be fine. And that hero looks dope. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, very very strong. Yeah. What does they do? What does she do anyway? I can see her right now because she's already out. So, give the lowest ally 30% HP and create a shield that lasts for 5 seconds. Sounds like a skill to skip on him. Increase HP by 28%. Also, it's not that great. Upon entering the field, I guess target that gets bind with a random ally, and it's a guarantee if we are using the other pilot. If we're using her, I think. Wait, is it her? If we're using another pilot, oh no. If we are with her, then it will guarantee to be her. But if it's not her, it will be random. Make their weapon reload speed, action cooldown increase by 15% out. This is very strong because it's callable and you can use it to, I guess, funnel in PvE. So, and the last one, whenever taking damage, it will increase all pilot stat by 3 points, max 100 times. So 200 times. I mean, so not too bad, I guess. It's more of a funnel mecha than anything. I don't really see this pilot being used outside of PvE as a funnel, but you know, I might be wrong, so we'll see. I see, this reminds me of Ninja Chair very much. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, I really wonder, you know, again, this is a very early, very early, I posted this a long time ago. Where is it? Yeah. Yeah, posted this a long time ago. Now, you know, what's it called? Like, it's not guaranteed this will turn out to be this way because we haven't have a mecha that is like both range and melee at the same time yet, unless you count just magenta. Just magenta is more mid-range, but this one looks like it is both range and melee, which most of the time are more melee orientated. That sword is ridiculously long though. I wonder why it was paired with Linda. So, and then see how different the sprite is. I'm pretty sure the sprite has been changed since. So, we'll see. Yeah. Alright, so any more questions, guys? Any more questions? Let me know this when it happens. If it persists, just go to the staff. Just go to the Discord and ask staff. So. Alright, any more questions, guys? Any more questions? If not, I will call it a day. Just to rest. And of course, the timestamp of this video, like if you miss anything, the timestamp will be out in about 20 minutes after the live stream is finished being live. So yeah, just heads up. And yeah, same. Right. Alright, well, thank you all so much for being here. I'm gonna put my Discord up one more time. Just know that again, join our Discord if you have any more questions. Yeah, just follow up. I notify. I'll stream like every time. And of course, if you guys want to join our corp, right? Our corp is open. We are all the best corp in the game. So our corp is the most active and everything. The best. It's exclusive reward. So join our guild if you guys want to. And of course, I'll be notify. I mean, I don't notify all the time, but whenever I'm doing something big, like live streaming or make a guide, I'll be paying the people, but I wouldn't pay all the time making videos. 什么时候下次直播？下周probably next week。然后呢，在我的第二个频道my second channel，第二个频道可能很快可能1-2天后就会直播like in about where can we farm infinity shards? Okay, so that's very easy. Just what is it? Where's infinity? Yeah, just what? See, you go to infinity, right? You go to items, you go to your shards, and then you go to your infinity shards. Do we have any here? Where is it? Infinity shards. Hold on. This guy doesn't have infinity shards? Hold on, really? Oh, there you go. You can acquire. Here you go. Here are all the places that you can get in stories. Now, aside from stories, you can get it from Black Market, obviously. I mean, I think it does list it. Yeah, Black Market. You can also get it from poster bosses. So if you've been playing what's it called Limited Arena, I think you can obviously get where is it? See his token. Endpoint Shop, Apex. Not here. Where is it? It's not here for some reason. But yeah, just find what's it called? Just posters. So posters here. Posters by far should be the best one. I wouldn't recommend actually farming them from stories like finding them. It really drops in my opinion. And definitely don't redeem shards for infinity. You definitely want to farm them because infinity is not that rare anymore. I mean, it still takes some time to get them, but it's not something unachievable. It's something people wouldn't spend money on or spend extra resources on if they possible. Around 25 to 30, yeah, probably, yeah. What's it gonna get around? I guess. But yeah. Yeah, it's fine. Alright, so what's it called? Alright, well, again, kind of did. I'm pretty tired. Yeah, thank you all so much for coming up. Please consider share, share, subscribe. And yeah, goodbye. So tired. Alright. Goodbye. Bye.